But the other question is, why are you doing this? What's going on in your world that you think that you're living in some type of movie where I don't understand why people steal things and then video themselves with stolen items? Well, all right, Mr. Gonzalez, if you'll come forward.
Well,
Hello, guys.
So you are back.
I have a suit, but I just got my.
Wow.
I haven't decided. I'm picking the right date for it, so it's one of
Okay.
those,
See, I think you dress impeccably.
thank you.
I have it up here, Norman. All right, court is calling 2024 CR 6757, State of Texas versus Noah Gonzalez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar from the state of Texas.
Run the way for the defense.
And are you Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Gonzalez, did you review the document entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the document entitled True Bill of Indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Judge.
Did you understand the document entitled Court Admonishments? Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you sign it at all the appropriate places? Thank you. Sign in all the appropriate places? Did you understand you're charged with theft of $2,500 to $30,000 of a vehicle as a state jail felony? Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
He is, Your Honor.
Mr. Gonzalez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented? Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, there's an $800 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication, and there's to be restitution, if any, to Daniel Chapa. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Judge.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 3 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 120 hours of community service restitution, no contact with Daniel or Samantha Chapa or their residents. Did you understand? Those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations.
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
I plead guilty.
State any evidence.
State offer states exhibit 1 in all matters.
No objections for purposes of the plea.
All right, state, you may be excused. Counsel in the box, if you could ask the deputy to just move your person down there to talk to them instead of behind the court reporter. Thank you. All right, did you review the document entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We are, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Just that the state follows the recommendation from the state and given 3 years deferred adjudication, Judge.
All right, how old are you?
I just turned 18, man.
How far did you go in school?
Junior year.
All right, why did you drop out?
I had got kicked off the basketball team and I had dropped out. I'm currently studying for my GED.
Well, that makes no sense.
It doesn't.
So why were you kicked off the basketball team?
I was on varsity. I was in the bathroom while people were smoking. The police officer searched everybody in the bathroom. They didn't find nothing on me. I was rude to the officer, and my coach had seen that and he had kicked me off the team.
I'm sorry, what?
My coach had seen, like when he came in, the officer was searching us. My coach said I was being rude, so he had kicked me off the team the next day when I showed up to practice.
Yeah,
So I had dropped out.
I mean, I'm sure that was punishment, and that ultimately he probably would have let you back on the team. So you act as though it's the end of the world and ruin your life. And I say ruin your life, there's still a chance to pick up the pieces, but your answer to being kicked off the team is, all right, I'm dropping out of school. That's not good choices.
It's not. I also was working too. I just focus on my job.
Yeah, you should be focusing on education, because what do you do for work?
For work, nothing at the moment. Man. That's why.
So here you are.
Focusing on getting my GED.
Yeah. And all you have to do is complete school. Basketball is not the end of the world. And not that many people make it to the pros. And when I say pros, I mean, you know, the National Basketball League. Sometimes you see people, they're real serious about it, so they end up international basketball. Maybe they get to play for one of those teams. But you shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket, and that's what you did.
Agreed.
So do you live with your parents?
Yes, ma'am.
And what do they say about all of this?
They're helping me to do better. They're really helping.
So how do you spend your day? Because you're not at work.
I'm in Brownwood. It's 3 hours up north. I'm with my father. He's currently looking for a job and studying on my GED. Ready. We haven't started the quizzes yet, but I'm studying everything for it.
And where is Brownwood?
3 hours up north. It's past Fredericksburg, about 2 hours past Fredericksburg.
Okay, what county is that?
Brown County.
Brown Town?
Brown County, ma'am.
Brown County.
Yes, ma'am.
Is he going to be asking for his probation to be
Correct.
transferred there?
Yes, Judge.
All right. You know, when you break into people's cars, people don't like that, because that's something that somebody worked hard for it. They paid money for it. And if you want a vehicle, you need to work for it. Now, and what was the name of the person you were with that day? You said it was your friend. So who was it?
He goes by Clicker. That's
What?
Clicker. That's what
Clicker?
I call him. Yes.
And you don't know his real name?
No, ma'am.
Never hang around with somebody where you don't know their real name.
Yes.
You understand?
I've learned that. Yes,
And please tell me you don't have any children.
ma'am. No, ma'am.
All right, that's a good thing. You're not ready for children. You're still growing. This is a deferred adjudication. So With deferred adjudications, I'm sure your attorney explained to you the benefit for that. But the downsides of it is if you mess up, you're looking at 2 years at the state jail facility. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, this is what the court is gonna do. There's gonna be an $800 fine. That will be probated. 2 years deferred adjudication. We'll do a transfer to Brown County. There's gonna be restitution, if any, to Daniel Chapa, CHAPA. There's to be no contact with Daniel Chapa or Samantha Chapa. And it's on Cozy Run. And also no contact with the street Cozy Run. That's COZYRUN at 78218. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular random UAs. If you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
Should be clear.
What do you mean it should be?
I shouldn't have nothing in my system.
All right, you need to speak up.
I shouldn't have nothing in my system, man.
Have you used before?
Yes, ma'am.
What?
Marijuana.
There's no marijuana allowed while you're on probation. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
There's no alcohol while you're on probation. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm gonna ask for 120 hours of community service restitution. 60 hours of those will be waived upon completion of his GED. And the remaining 60 hours will be waived if you obtain some level of higher education or trade school. Plumbers make great money. Nobody ever complains about what they're being charged by a plumber. My understanding is always gonna need welders, but the welders I've spoken to, they tend to have a little bit of damage done to their hands sometimes from the flames. So those are some of your options. But if there's something else that you're interested in, I'll give you 60 hours for that because I want you to improve yourself. You understand?
Yes.
If they're able to do field visits, if we can have field visits 1 time per month for 3 months. And proof of employment within 40 days. There's to be no employment as a home healthcare provider or with minors.
Yes.
Probation, is there anything else?
No, Judge.
Is there anything else that you need from the court to be successful?
No.
All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed the plea bargain agreement, because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing, to be successful on probation in this court, communication is key. Talk to your probation officer. If you're going to test positive for drugs, if you're thinking about using drugs, the best policy in this court, I don't know what they're doing in other courts, but the best policy in this court is to pick up the phone, call your probation and say, your officer and say, you know, I'm thinking about using marijuana. I'm thinking about taking a drink of alcohol. They'll reach out, try to help you. But if you don't call, we're gonna have issues.
Yes, ma'am.
In this court, it's not better to ask for forgiveness than to ask for permission. Always ask for permission. Doesn't hurt. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And the other thing, when you're out here breaking into people's cars, this is Texas. If somebody ends up shooting you, and I say this is Texas, but you can go to any state, Louisiana. I think a 12-year-old just got shot in the head, breaking into somebody's car. And you know what? His parents are crying, saying, he was just 12. I'm sure your parents will be crying. He was only 18. It's just property. That's what you need to realize. It's just property. It's not worth it. And your parents would have been crying on the news. You know what a majority of the people would say? Oh, well, he should have been taking what wasn't his. So here's my advice to you. Don't take what does not belong to you. If you want things, you have to work for things. And if somebody is inviting you to a party, make sure you ask for them. Are you allowed to have a +1? If they say no, don't go.
Yes.
If you show up to a party and people ask you to leave, leave. Do you understand?
Yes.
And I think in the words of Denzel Washington, you need to leave 30 minutes before the devil shows up. Nothing good happens after midnight. Don't be outside of your house after midnight.
Yes.
Nothing good happens after midnight. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. And he's pleading to both these cases? And are there any applications?
They're in there, Judge.
All right, court is calling 2024 CR 007423 and 2024 CR 007444. State of Texas versus Noah Gonzalez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Andrew Curfew.
Defense.
Rolando Wade for the defense.
And are you Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, counsel, have you received all of the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Gonzalez, did you review the application for deferred adjudication with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State in each cause number, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Gonzalez, in each cause number, did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
And the cause number ending in 23, you're charged with theft, $2,500 to $30,000 of a vehicle. And the charge ending in 44, you're charged with an unauthorized use of a vehicle. Both of these offenses are state jail felonies. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand in each cause number, you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering these plea bargain agreements, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into pleas in each of these cause numbers?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand in each of these cause numbers, if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am. I understand.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does, Judge.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Gonzalez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am. I am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
In each cause number, the court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to a jury trial. In each cause numbers, did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am. I did.
According to the plea in each cause number, the cases are to run concurrently. The state is recommending deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement in each cause number, the state is recommending that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 2 years, and there be no contact with the complainants, and 100 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state, and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then in the cause number ending in 23, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
I plead guilty, Your Honor.
And in the cause number ending in 44, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
I also plead guilty, ma'am.
State any evidence.
In each case contained in Exhibit 1 and attachments, Your Honor.
No objections, Your Honor, for purposes of the plea.
All right, in each of the cause numbers, did you review the documents entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, I did, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state would be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there'll be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Next, we're going to proceed. What is happening with the motion to revoke?
Withdrawn and requesting the alternate amend to include, get exactly
It's-
what you're on.
ISP judge.
It's, Judge, it's ISP, along with weekly reporting until he's accepted into ISP. And then Bashan was asking if we could also have a tap them in custody due to some concerns that, they expressed at the court summary.
All right, any objections to the court reviewing the court summary?
Or not from the defense. All right, so here's my, and you wish to proceed with sentencing. Yes.
All right, so here's my question. Why shouldn't he be going to the state jail facility? It appears maybe he wants to go to, prison for the state jail facility, because he's on probation for that.
May I answer that question, Your Honor?
Yes.
These cases were filed at large.
Ah.
They were indicted after he pled on his first case. And they should have been disposed of in one way or another when he pled on that case. And so it seems to a certain extent unfair to send him to the state jail facility in this particular circumstance.
All right, thank you for
Welcome.
clarifying that. All right, now that explains things. But the other question is, why are you doing this? What's going on in your world that you think that you're living in some type of movie where I don't understand why people steal things and then video themselves with stolen items? Why are you doing that?
In all honesty, after I had signed the first time I left there behind, I really have been trying to do better. I got a job. I had started focusing on my GED like we talked about. I was really trying to do better. Like, I left that behind. And then out of nowhere, those warrants came, honestly.
Okay, how has he been doing on probation other than this probation?
Very good. I mean, it looks like the officer does want you to be, monitored a little bit closely, more closely than he had been with, ISP. It looks like he had been, looks like he just had these new offenses that came up, Judge. He last reported in July, but that was just right after he was granted supervision on this case. He was just granted in July. So I'm guessing that when it was, the MTR was filed, was a month after.
All right, and I'm reading the court summary and it appears that you may not have been doing that well. So why are you coming into the house at 4 a.m. at night?
I was out playing basketball, probably doing
Who's playing basketball at 4 a.m.?
It's a court in my neighborhood.
Young people, Your Honor.
4 a.m. Here's the thing, nothing good happens after midnight. Even when you're at your house, because if you're at your house and you're up at midnight, that means you have insomnia.
My mom worries about me when I leave the house, but I try to tell her that like the park is right up the road. Like,
No, but here's the thing. You live at your mom's house.
Yes,
If
ma'am.
your mom has rules that you are to be in the house at a certain time, I don't care if you're 90 years old. If she wants you in the house by 10 p.m., you need to be in the house by 10 p.m. You know why? Because that's not your house.
Yes,
And if you want to come into a home at 4 a.m. or whenever you want to come in home, then you need to get your own home.
I agree with this,
And then this girlfriend you have, does she live with your mom?
ma'am. No, ma'am.
And who does she live with?
She lives with her mother.
All right. And do you have any children with her?
No, ma'am.
All right. What's her name?
Carmela.
Carmela.
Yes, ma'am. She did tell me that she had a pregnancy scare, but I don't think it's true, ma'am.
All right. What's her last name?
Cedillo. Cedillo.
Cedill.
Oh, yes,
Oh.
ma'am. Carmela Cedillo.
Oh, okay. And why are you acting as though she's on her own? She had a pregnancy scare. No, y'all had a pregnancy scare.
Yes, ma'am.
And let me just tell you right now, your life is not in order where you should be bringing a child into the world
I
at
agree.
this point in time.
That's what I told her, that it was true that we're not ready for a kid.
Well, you all need to stop doing things that you're not ready for children. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And it appears that he may need anger management based upon what I'm reading in the report.
I would actually willingly want to do anger management counseling.
And does his mom want him living with her?
Judge, I don't have that um, information other than just what's in the court summary. I would agree with Sean's recommendation for that have to be done in custody. I think we need to make sure we identify if there's any type of need for additional substance use treatment.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. Court is going to give him a curfew of 9 p.m. So it's from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. And the only exception is for work. And there's going to be partial GPS.
Would the court consider waiving the GPS fees, Judge?
Oh, yes, I'll waive the fees. Do that through the jail.
Yes, Judge.
All right, your curfew is from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Yes, ma'am.
Probation, are you okay with a 9 p.m. curfew?
Yes, Judge.
And the only exception for him to go outside that time frame is if he's actually at work. And that curfew, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. is Monday through Fridays. And then your curfew, Saturday through Sunday is from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. There's going to be proof of employment within 30 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. The previous conditions of him obtaining his GED or getting a certificate from trade school, that still applies. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular random UAs. Field visits 1 time per month until further notice.
I have a question, ma'am. What is a field visit exactly?
Oh, they're coming to your house.
Okay.
Anger management. 4 years deferred adjudication. There's to be no contact with Faerun, Faerun, Marie Weppelman, Weppelman. And there's to be restitution to Weppelman, if any.
Yes, ma'am.
Anything else with regards to that case, probation?
Judge, did you want to order a tap?
Yes, TAP evaluation in custody and follow Rex. And he used to have GPS before he leaves the jail.
Can I ask if family counseling too?
No, I can't, I have no jurisdiction to give your, to make your mother have counseling with you. That's something that you'll have to do on your own.
Yes.
And then this is the run concurrent with 2024 CR 6757. And also there's to be restitution to Wesley Cohen, if any, and no contact with Wesley Kahn. And the reason why, I know that their complainants are different in each case, but you never know what happens with a particular case. And I want to make sure that if they have restitution, that they're paid.
Yes. I have a question.
Yes.
If Mr. Gonzalez attends family counseling, will the court accept proof of that attendance in lieu of some of his community service hours?
Oh, no, for his community service hours, he has to give me a GED or trade school, and then I will deem the community service hour satisfied. So he's continuing to work on that on the other case. And I want it worked on in this case. You're gonna get that done. Do you understand? All right, did you review the trial court certification of defendants' rights to appeal and that cause number? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am. I did.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And the cause number ending in 44. The court is ordering a curfew Monday through Friday. It's 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. The only exception to go outside of that curfew is for work. On Saturday to Sunday, it's 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. with the working exception. Proof of employment within 30 days of release. No employment as a home health care provider or with minors. The 100 hours of community service restitution. You're going to have to obtain your GED or either trade school certificate. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular random UAs. Field visits. One time per month until further notice. Anger management. 4 years deferred adjudication. No contact and restitution, if any, to Ms. Whippleman. And Wesley Kahn. That's COHN. TAP evaluation in custody. And I'm sorry, that's also partial GPS for work and waive fees. And follow TAP recommendations. And this is to run concurrent with 2024 CR 007423. Is there anything else in that case with regards to sentencing?
No, Your Honor.
Probation, anything else he needs in that case?
No, Judge, just to confirm, it's 100 hours of community service on each case.
Yes.
They're running concurrent.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal?
Yes, I did, ma'am.
And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And in the motion to revoke, you all are withdrawing. I'm gonna alter and amend conditions without objection to curfew Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. with a work exception. Saturday and Sunday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., again with a work exception. And you need to provide proof of your work if it's outside of those hours. And there's going to be GPS partial waive fees. All right, is there anything else?
Yes,
Nothing.
Your Honor.
Yes.
May I approach?
Yes. You
Your Honor.
got the record? You better do better and not cause problems at your mom's house because she has you living with her. And how old are you?
I'm 18.
You're 18? All right, so you've made your life more difficult than it needed to be by committing these offenses.
I agree.
And let me just tell you something else. If your mother does not want your girlfriend in her house, then here, it's over.
I don't even
Not
want
in
to be
the
with my
house.
girlfriend no more. I don't, really don't. She's
Okay.
a distraction.
All right. Well, I'm sure her parents may feel the same about you, but you better do better, you understand?
Actually,
All right, good luck to you.
thank you, man.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
And we keep it working like Oouchie the boss. We tryna catch out like we hit us a fault. We gotta win, ain't taking no loss. 'Cause we in the game.